Hey guys, welcome back to the Mallorca save. Let me firstly apologise for some of you not being able to see yesterday's episode. It hadn't been a problem for the first few videos that we were up in this division, but yesterday, as we played the bigger teams, Atleti and Real Madrid, weirdly it didn't do that against Barcelona, but it copyright struck Atleti with the in-game pre-match menus where they show all the lineup, etc. La Liga copyright struck it, so it became unavailable in a certain few countries. I have disputed the copyright claim, so the video should become available to everybody once that copyright strike is lifted, because obviously it's the game, not a real-life La Liga broadcast, so fair use comes into account and I'm allowed to use it in a YouTube video. In the meantime, if you do want to catch up on yesterday's episode, you can use a VPN. And obviously, if you use a VPN, if you aren't aware, it changes where the internet registers that your internet's coming from, basically. So obviously, if you're in the United States and the video is unavailable, if you use a VPN, you can select where you want the internet to know or to think where you're coming from. So you can send it to UK, so YouTube would read that you're in the UK and as such show you the video. Alternatively, you can just feel free to not watch it or wait until it is available. I'll let you know once that copyright strike is lifted in a future video, so you can go back and watch that episode if you want to. It was a pretty fucking ridiculous episode as well, so I'm pretty pissed off about it. A 3-2 defeat to Sevilla, a 4-3 defeat to Atletico Madrid, a 4-2 defeat to Real Madrid, a 2-2 draw with Alaves, and a 2-0 defeat to Athletic Club de Bilbao. And, well, there was plenty of drama in those games as well, particularly the first two. I won't spoil anything in case you do want to go and watch it, but wow. That's all I'll say for now. So we start today with a game against Espanyol, the side that won the Segunda Division in Season 1 and escaped up to La Liga before we were able to. Then we've got Getafe. And after that, we've got Valladolid, who came up with us last year. They won the division last season. So Season 1's league winners and Season 2's league winners. And Getafe sandwiched in between the two of them. We are pretty desperate for points. Already finding ourselves 5 points adrift at the bottom of the table, albeit with a game in hand on Valladolid. So if we can win against Espanyol and match Valladolid's result against Getafe, or on that match day weekend, then if we beat Valladolid at the end of the episode, we'll be out the relegation zone. That sounds like a plan to me. Right, I'm going to jump in then. I won't show the pre-game graphic. I'll literally, in fact, whilst I'm here in the menus and I'm talking, I'll show you the lineups here. If we jump into the game before I'm like mid-commentary and on this menu, then I'll show you in-game, in the actual pause menu, what the opposition's starting lineup looks like. Unfortunately, it's just one of those things that we're going to have to deal with in a La Liga save, which is and another reason why I don't tend to do many saves outside of England. Anyway, let's crack on. So we've got De Tomas up top, Melamed, Mole, Carreras, Berra, Lopez, Ogbonna at right back, Lopez, Calero, Trauco, and Oyer in goal. Slightly different to the side that we played against in the Segunda Division in Season 1. You would imagine better than the side we played against in the Segunda Division in Season 1. And of course today, back in goal is Koke Vegas after Aseno had his attempt yesterday. And Kim Min-jae back in the starting lineup in for Bella Kotchap, who also underperformed in yesterday's episode. Although Kim Min-jae currently could do with some training, or at least some match experience to get those boosts back up. And hopefully we can get some good match experience against Espanyol. Drop the video a like if you enjoy, of course. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more. Drop that notification bell a click so that you get notified every single time a video goes live. Get rid of those. Don't want to get copyright struck again. Sorry lads, I would wait until the copyright strike is lifted, but it can take up to 30 days. And for rather obvious reasons, I can't afford to stop uploading for 30 days to ensure that we continue in a timely fashion. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? Chronological fashion. So, it is what it is, unfortunately. But, like I say, feel free to use a VPN to watch yesterday's video if you weren't able to in the country that you're in. Alternatively, I will let you know when the copyright strike is lifted so that you can go back and watch that episode. a little bit later on in the season. Hopefully, it's not going to take that long for the copyright strike to be lifted, but like I say, it can take up to 30 days, so fuck my life. We won't offer them the opportunity to copyright strike us again, that's for sure, even though it wasn't a genuine or an upholdable copyright strike in the first place. Really frustrating, but because it doesn't happen with the Premier League, and they've got proper licensing package. It doesn't happen with the Bundesliga or Ligue 1. All three of those leagues have their proper licensing package in the game. No copyright strikes, but La Liga for some reason don't care. Brilliant, cheers lads. Well, hopefully we can get some decent points today because we are desperate for them in our fight for survival here in La Liga. Trauco stood into the middle and oh, I thought that had gone in, genuinely, until it showed De Tomas with his head in his hands. I thought that was in, and that was what my was for, because I thought he'd turned that home at the near post. We're all right. Might have lost the header, but haven't lost our clean sheet. Mbula into Brenner, through to Insua, who will be the leading man in our starting lineup up top sooner rather than later. My God, man. I mean, what can you do? He is clean through on his own. Has, as far as I'm aware, at least a 3 or 4 star weak foot. 5-star weak foot. 5-star weak foot. My back bottom 5-star weak foot. Never been. Oh, Robertone can't get there ahead of Barre. Oh, lovely little back heel. This is excellent football from Espanyol. Joffrey, De Tomas, Mole, good save. No, we're going to get really unlucky. No, we're not. Oh, Ismael Casas from nowhere with a goal line clearance. How on earth has he missed that? But why is it showing me a replay of that when something ridiculous just happened at the other end? Brilliant save from Coque Vegas. Oh, they're going to score the header, aren't they? Coque Vegas with a wonderful first save, and somehow Casas kept the ball out for the follow-up effort on the line, and still Espanyol score. De Tomas winning the header, out-muscling Montes, and nobody was stopping that. Oh, nicely done by Robertone. We'll look for Insua through that gap. Robertone will go again. Lucas Robertone surely has to score from here, and does. We're level. It didn't take long. Driving forward from midfield, Robertone gives us an equaliser 5 minutes before half-time, and we absolutely deserve that because we've been the better team, I think. Should it be 2-1 up, because Insua should have finished his goal. That's his second goal in La Liga. Robertone scored on his debut and has now scored again, this time from open play rather than a free kick, as was the previous. And we are level and looking like we should get some points in this game. And we've played well enough in this first half to think that we genuinely could challenge for 3. De Tomas. Nico. Good save, Coque. Comfortable enough at his near post. Keeping the ball out. Mole is... I'm not sure if it's Mole or Mollet. Like Dimi Payet in French. I think they pronounce the T, don't they, sometimes? Oh, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So, I'm not sure. Oh, how's that squeezed free to Mole again. And De Tomas with a great turn, and he'll score this. And again, look at the fucking clock! How many goals in this save are we going to concede well past stoppage time? Getting no luck whatsoever in this save right now. I can't even kick off before he blows his whistle. You should have done that before they scored, mate! Mbarba. Back to Gomez. Delivered well, but Robertone clears well. And Daniel Rodriguez could send Brenner away. If you don't score now, Brenner, then you really don't stand any chance of holding on to your first team spot. Oh my God, I've overdone it. No, he's buried it. Oh, I'll be honest, I panicked. I slowed down to try and settle myself and then saw that the defender was going to get to me before I got the chance to get the shot away. I slowed down just here and then slowed down there and then went to sprint again and oh my God, nearly overran it. We have ourselves an equaliser. Even Brenner couldn't miss that one. 2-2. Throw for Espanyol, 5 minutes to go and he's thrown it straight to Kufre, who gets it straight to Mane. Could we? Go on, Brenner. Prove to me that we don't need a change in system and you can still do the business for us. Danny Rodriguez. No! That was the chance to send it. Oh, there was man free on the far side. Why has the pass got to be that bad, Danny? You've been the man in this save so many times, and now you've let me down in a vital moment. Catch that, Koke. Oh, it's to be a 2-2 draw. A point is a point, but oh, we could have just got that through ball. We could have just got that through ball. Yikes. We'll take the point and have to be happy with it, but oh, it could have been so much more. Right, let's go and beat Getafe now. Or at least avoid defeat. Here we are against Getafe then. And I'll show you their starting lineup here to avoid a copyright strike. Saith Alonso in goal. Andradaldo out at right back. Romaglio, Cabacco and Lopez Cabrera. Maximovic, Timor, Portillo, Kaku, Cucurella at left wing, not left back. And Enes Unal, the Manchester City player, or former Manchester City player. I'm not sure if he's on loan or if he moved permanently. But he's leading the line for Getafe. We're back in the capital. We played Real and Atleti yesterday. Now we play Getafe. I hope for better result than we got in both of the games yesterday in the capital. Nice tackle by Kim Min-jae, who's getting his sharpness back as well, which is good. Oh, get to that first. Well up, Montez. And Mane will get to that first too. And Insua could send Brenner in behind. Oh, it's not the best of passes. Arriving here is Robert. Tone hit it early doors. Good block by the defender. Brenner's won it back. Look for Insua. Come on. Oh, I was going to say, show me that weak foot. Unfortunately, because Insua's a cam, I can't, other than being on the balanced development plan, I can't change or train his heading or strength. So I'm having to wait for a really slow burn with Insua's growth. I want to change him to a centre forward for when we switch to that false 9 formation later in the season, provided we're able to make the transfers we need to. Brenner! Maybe we don't need to change the formation. The man that basically is walking the finest of lines and living on his last wits as a Mallorca player right now knows that his place, not just in the starting lineup, but at the club is under threat and is finally starting to turn up. But is it a false hope? I'm not sure yet. We'll wait and see if he can continue it further than the opening 2 games of today's episode. He'll need to do it consistently for the rest of the episode and for tomorrow's as well, if I'm to even consider keeping Brenner at the club and not grabbing a CDM when we can. To be fair, I could still look to sell someone and buy a CDM and just drop them slightly deeper, but it would mean that Bay drops out of the starting lineup, which would be a shame because he's showing good promise. But if he's not good enough, he's not good enough, I guess. Timor across to Maximovic. Through the gap to Enes Unal. And they're level immediately. We cannot stop conceding goals. Robertone. Ismail Casas down the line to Jordi Mbula. Brenner is there in support. He doesn't really have much in the way of support for himself, but Robertone will find Bay here and get that to Insua, who will turn and have his shot blocked. The turn wasn't quite good enough to get a shot away on the left foot. I just didn't have the angle for it, and as such, I had to try and switch back to the right. Kaku over the top here looking for Cucurella, who's played in brilliantly. Tries to get the cross in, and they'll still get the opportunity to whip it into the box. Cucurella, as an individual, will get the chance to whip it into the box because he'll take the corner. In it comes, Unal is underneath it. Montez does win his physical battle against his opponent on this occasion, and we do keep the ball out. Timor trying to recycle possession, has spun Insua well. Ismail Casas on this occasion winning his header, but still, we can't get the ball away. Maximovic to Cucurella. Back to Lopez Cabrera. To Cucurella again. Ismail Casas in the way. Getafe are putting the pressure on, aren't they? Oh, yikes. I just see a second goal in their future. Well, hopefully it doesn't come yet. Oh, it nearly did. Oh, and Mbula's gone down and stayed down. Oh, he's going to have to come off as well. Oh, and it doesn't rain, it pours. One of our best players having to leave the field with an injury. Lamkel Zay will come on. Swap those two around. Left mid, right wing. Ah, shite. Bay out wide to Robertone. He's on the run on the right-hand side. Carlos Mane. takes it in his stride well. And arriving here is Robertone. And, well, what an introduction. This could be for Lamkelze. He was one of the guys I was thinking about selling to try and fund other changes to the team. He may still be one of the players that we end up selling to make other changes to the team, but he's just on his own. It's not necessarily anything he's done that's been spectacular. It's just stood there and they've just run off and left him alone. We lead again. And hopefully this time will run out in the half before Getafe find their equaliser. Kaku has got the runner of Unal through the middle. Not being able to find him yet. Portillo to Jesus. And Tradaldo has options, one of which is to get tackled by Kufre. And a counter of sorts. Zaydidier is off. He's surprised that he hasn't been as good as we thought he would be. Oh, play that through. Get to that. Oh, please, Insua. Please, Insua. This time. Yes! 3-1. Surely we can see this one through to get a victory. Maybe when I made the big decision yesterday to change formation, change system, and alter the side, I did it prematurely because of the opposition we were playing. Sevilla, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and we were competitive in 2 of those 3. Maybe I'm jumping the gun a bit. Maybe this system, maybe these boys can keep us up. Good save, Koke Vegas. We are certainly going to need, I think, a CDM, but maybe a CDM to work in this system. A CDM to come in, replace Bay in the starting 11 to be dropped a bit deeper and sit alongside Robertone. Oh, it's a lovely turn by Brenner. It's an excellent turn. He has no support, though. I'm just going to keep running until it arrives. Lamkelze is here. And Insua too. This is what we did against Eibar. This is what we know we can do. Carlos Mane's in behind. And surely for, and is. Getafe getting put to the sword. My confidence in this team is being restored. 1 game at a time. Simovic back to Romaglio again. And they're just lobbing it forward now, hoping for the best, Getafe. Case in point. And, well, that's not going to work, lads. We're going to get victory here. It's one of, if not the biggest 3 points of our entire time here at Mallorca to give us hope for the season. To give us hope of survival. Dani Rodriguez is really starting to let me down now. His passing on 2 occasions now has been too poor in today's episode and not good enough. It potentially cost us the win in the last game. Thankfully, it's not going to cost us anything other than a bit more gloss on the tie in this one. But Dani Rodriguez is perhaps finding or going to find himself phased out now, as he's just not necessarily going to have the same sort of impact that we are used to him having. But that's what happens when you age, I guess. You do have less of an impact on proceedings. That ball was meant for Lamkelze, and again, Dani Rodriguez makes a mistake in his passing. 4-1 win, though. That's the most important thing. And faith restored in this 11. Such is the nature of a season where results are up and down, opinions change quickly as well, and decisions can be reversed or adhered to. We'll have to wait and see how things transpire between now and the rest of the window. 2 months for Jordi and Bula. No. Oh, well, if Lamkelze can have as much of an impact from the start as he did off the bench in the last game, then maybe we won't miss Mbula. And Mane did well on that right-hand side as well, to be fair. We're not getting much luck in Mexico or Canada at the minute, are we? But Mbula is going to have to come out. Mane will switch to the right. Lamkelze will go there. And we will have to throw Lombardo onto the bench. Lombardo, a man that probably should get some football and now potentially will with the Mbula injury. He'll have the opportunity to come off the bench and be involved. Where do we sit in the league now? Just 2 points behind Valladolid. And who do we play next with a chance to get out of the relegation zone again? Valladolid then come to us now. 2 sides promoted up with each other last season. Roberto in goal. Carnero, El Yamik, Sanchez and Yanko. Javias, Fede, El Hassan, Valdo, Villa and Weissman as the striker leading the way for them again. As he did last year, scored the majority of their goals. They won the league. We were off the pace when it came to keeping up with them last season, so it's not a tie that I'm heading into expecting to win. It's a tie that I'm heading into expecting to have a very difficult game of football ahead of us. We know what Valladolid are all about. They're one of the more fresher oppositions in our memory, in our mind from last year. So let's see what we can do against them. Let's prove that even though they beat us to the title last season, we are going to be the ones that are going to stay up this year. Tony Villa. Good block by Ismail Casas to start things off. Oh, that's dangerous from Montes. And from Kufre. But we will get the ball out. Nice tackle by Bay. Still fighting hard. And will want to keep his position in the starting lineup. I did think about changing Robertone to the CDM to be able to keep Bay in the starting lineup. But Robertone is going to take like a year to retrain as a CDM. So we don't have the luxury of time in that regard to wait that long. Unless you guys think I should change Robertone and you are willing to wait that long and potentially run the risk of getting relegated in the meantime. But if we can, maybe I set it to happen and get that process started whilst we still look for someone else to play at CDM, because we might not be able to afford anyone that's any good in the next transfer window. That way, at least, if we are able to stay up, Robertone has the opportunity to take on that role without us then having to, again, wait another year, a further year, to be able to have that CDM position. The thing is, Robertone is just so good offensively and creatively that I don't want to really have him sat deeper. Although Sangare in the hole save, in that deeper position in this formation, did do well there and was still involved in plenty of attacks. It's just on the defensive side of things, he was able to get involved. It may even be something as little as work rates for my two central midfielders. Maybe they just need to get high defensive work rates. Let me have a quick look. What are their work rates? Robertone's work rates are high-medium and Bay's are high-medium. Robertone does have actually really good stand tackle, 83. So there's the opportunity there to change him to a CDM. Bay, well, no, but we could try and perhaps improve his tackling with some development plan tweaking. There's the opportunity to make it work with the players we have. Maybe we don't have to resort to just replacing everybody like we do in every other save and buying. Maybe we can mould, develop, train the squad that we have to work the way that we want it to, like you would in real life if you're not flush with cash. And a side like Mallorca aren't going to be flush with cash in real life and would have to train to try and work the squad that they've got at their disposal. Their keeper is going to come to this and he's just going to get there first. 5 minutes to go till half-time. It's 0-0 here against Valladolid. A win is what we're desperate for, but avoiding defeat is most important. All we need to be is the 4th worst side in the league. And we will be here next season. And at this stage, that is all I care about, is being in La Liga next season. And we're so close to getting above Valladolid. As long as we can keep with them for the time being, then I have faith that as players continue to grow throughout the season, we will stay in this division. Sheriff Bay, 1-0 Mallorca. Let's get out of the bottom 3. And out wide to Ismail Casas. Down the line to Carlos Mane. Inside to Brenner. That's a smart turn. And a good pass too. Hello. Oh, good save. Can we turn that home? Yes, we can. Oh, boys. It might be a one-off. Tomorrow's episode, we might be back to our shitty usual selves. But episodes like today, when they come around, are very special at the moment. And we need to keep it going as long as we can. Brenner squeezing it home. A goal in each game today. 6 for the season for him. We dubbed him the new Ronaldo. He then failed to do anything of any real significant note after that episode. But He's perhaps finding his form again. Waldo down the left-hand side. Valladolid looking for a route back into the game. They could find it here. Kufre does well. Can Lamkelzee challenge for that? Yes, but not very well at all. Alassane to Yanko, the right back. Oh, he's driving out wide here. That's actually a good move. Where's he going to go now, though? He does have support in the middle there from Alassane again. They've worked that well. Really well. And Hervias could shoot. He won't. And they won't get a goal back. If they had done there, then it would have been a very nervy final few moments. But, oh, as we get the free kick and the ball back, I think that might be game done and dusted for us now. Big win against Getafe. Unexpected, but most welcome. And this has been a real surprise episode after yesterday. A real surprise episode. Nobody could have predicted the way that things went yesterday or the manner in which it all happened. Nobody would have predicted that at all. But equally, after yesterday's episode, I don't think anybody would have predicted that today's video would be quite so polar opposite. This is such a Jekyll and Hyde team. You never know whether we're actually going to be really good or really bad. More often than not, it's really bad, but occasionally, there is a special performance in us. Or two, as it happens, as back-to-back victories and 7 points today. A 2-2 draw and then 2 wins. We have perhaps finally arrived in La Liga. We are out of the relegation zone. We're still the 4th worst side, but that's all we need to be this season, is the 4th worst side. And we've Elche, bottom of the table Elche tomorrow, as we look to extend a gap over that bottom 3. Elche, Celta, Sociedad, Osasuna. It's game on again for La Liga survival. Russo, there's plenty of time, mate. Don't worry, you'll get a new contract. Chill your bean. We've not got much money at the moment. We maybe could look to loan a CDM. Let me actually do that now. And change Robertone's development plan to start the move to change him into a CDM. It said it was going to take something like 51 weeks, I think, when I last looked. Oh, 94. I was going to take 2 years to change him to a CDM. Sue fucking perb. Why? He's the most well-rounded player that we could possibly want. Why is it going to take 2 years to retrain as a CDM when his stats clearly suit that position just as much as they do centre mid? Oh, Jesus Christ. I then don't know what to do. Let me actually, rather than that, we were going to up his defensive work rate. Maybe that's something we could do. Change him to a ball-winning midfielder, or train him as a ball-winning midfielder, improve his defensive stats, and then, with a defensive work rate change as well, maybe then he'd be able to be retrained as a CDM a little bit quicker. I don't know. But for now, I'm very happy to be out the relegation zone. That will do for today, boys. A special episode indeed. And is Brenner back? We'll find out tomorrow if he can keep it going. If we can keep it going. I'll see you then.